Cindy, I'm sure it's really high on your priority list, but are you going to watch some of or be scoreboard watching the Dallas-Phoenix games? If you guys win and Dallas wins, you get the All-Star coaching nod in 2 weeks.
Oh, really? No, it hasn't crossed my mind. I'll be watching it for other reasons there, just to be cautious of it. No, it hasn't crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Sandy, I'm curious what the main focuses have been in these couple days of practice. The players told us that, the intensity was high, but what do you feel like you accomplished?
A lot. I mean, it was like a training camp feel. It's getting back to what our identity is. And I thought we went away from that on the road trip and getting back to fundamentals of having some toughness and physicality, really. It wasn't about being the schemes. Schemes don't work if you don't have that first. So it was just a little bit of attention to detail and not being happy with where we're at both ends of the floor.
And also, John Quell spoke to us yesterday about just how frustrating it is that, she was playing so well and then she tweaks the ankle and then she's thinking about All-Star and she's wondering, well, what's going to happen? Am I going to be recognized? I guess I'm just curious your thoughts on that situation and, how you judge the part of the season she was able to play.
Yeah. Great question there. Look, JJ, I think you see it, when you look at someone, are they an All-Star or not, the impact that they have on their team. And I think you see that she has a very big impact on our team and she was playing great. She's just this comfort blanket. For me, she's an all-star. Hopefully she's recognised for that, but I know that she hasn't played as many games. I don't know what the cutoff is and what goes into selection of that. But for us, she's a really important player. She should be at all-star, so we'll see what happens.
Hi, Sandy. Despite the struggles the last couple of games, you have mentioned how certain players like Rebecca Gardner and Izzy and even Marine are getting those extra minutes. How do you hope that benefits your bench moving forward these next few games, especially during this homestand?
Yeah, look, it's a long season. It was still early in the year. We had a great start and then we faced some adversity with injuries and people in and out and, sick or not sick. And so you have to make adjustments, but it allows the bench to step up. And I thought Beck Gardner had, got more consistent minutes and had some really good games. The same applies to Izzy Harrison. And I thought Marine got going. They showed glimpses of it. So when we do get our full group back, I think it's adding layers to it because, you see the chemistry. Our starting group has great chemistry. The only way you can build that is getting more time together. So hopefully in the long run, that's going to be a good thing for us.
And Coach, I know it may be hard to single out a single thing, but what are some things that you would like to shore up and get back to outside of this rough stretch that you guys have been in?
It's just playing with some toughness and playing hard. I think it's winning and losing as simple as that. In Seattle, I was happy. We're down 3 starters, but we competed. In Golden State, Sabrina wasn't 100%, but it's Golden State. But we found a way to win. The other 2, I didn't think we competed enough. And I think a little fatigue went into that when we had to go into players that probably hadn't played as many big minutes and the workload there. But not making any excuses. You still have to compete. We all got the same schedule. So that's what I was most disappointed with is more, we didn't bring the appropriate effort. And you should never have to coach effort at this level.
Phoebich is back. How did...
Isn't that awesome?
Right on. Phoebich is back. How did you feel, seeing her in practice yesterday, just fitting back in, obviously having to get back in the groove of things? She played 9 games with you guys, but, what did you see? How did you see your teammates? Just kind of happy to have her back.
I think practice was wonderful yesterday. It was one of the best practices we had all season long. Very intentional. I think, the players, these are great players. We know that we haven't played to our best of our ability without making excuses with players that weren't there. But, Leo, what she does is what we need. And she brings so much, it allows us to get back to the switching, but the toughness, the full court pickup, the press-ups, and I think the players, you build energy off that when someone's doing it. But we want her to be more aggressive on offense too. It was great. She had to play a lot of the 4 yesterday too, so maybe she'll see a little bit more there. It looked really good.
We're here on the right. You mentioned this morning just wanting to be at least top 2 in offensive and defensive rating by the end of July. I was just wondering, one, is that one of your team goals for this month? And 2, if there are other team goals that you have for this homestand?
Yeah, look, I think, we were for a long time of the season, and then we hit this little tough part of the year, which, most teams, you don't want any player to get injured, not your best players, but shit happens, doesn't it? So it's what you're going to do with it. Yeah, I think when we're at our best, we should be up there. And it's nothing that's far-reaching. No, if you want to be one of the best teams, you have to be the number one defensive team or in the top two in both categories. And we're very capable of that. Now, obviously, we still have some time to get JJ back. So we just got to chip away and find it. And, JJ's not going to come back, and she's been out for quite some time. So she's going to need time to build up. But, big picture, we've got 10 games in July. It's a great opportunity for us. So let's just, just take one game at a time approach, but starts with defense, and that starts tonight.
Hi, Sandy. I know you have bias when I'm about to ask this next question about, but
Never bias.
Oh yes, of course. But Natasha Cloud, I mean, she's one of those players that might be viewed as being like on the cusp of the All-Star conversation. She does lead the league in assist turnover ratio among starters. I mean, do you think that she has a valid case to be an All-Star this season, her first one?
Yeah, I am biased. But I think, I've never coached Tash before until this year. And I love a lot of things. I know she had a few quiet games there for a while, and it was just more reminding her, like, you just got to take most of those opportunities, but how she helps. And I think these last few games she's gotten back to that. I'd love to see her. I know it's a goal of theirs, and I try to remind them we're about winning championships, but I also want them to fulfil their personal goals as well, because that is great. And, if she does, great. And if she doesn't, let's use it as motivation as well. So what we can focus on.
Hey, Coach. Just when a team's going through kind of the rut of which that the road trip was, just kind of what are the couple of things that the coaching staff is really looking at in terms of response and just this next homestand? Yeah,
look, when the film doesn't lie, so we're very intentional with what we're watching, and analytics don't lie. I mean, we show them numbers about where we're at, and it's unacceptable. So, and they know that. They know when they're out there, and we're probably asking some players to do something that's not a part of. They're not. We don't have, like last year we had 2 starters down, but we had Leo and Kayla Thornton step in there. They're tough. They're really big, tall players. We're different. That's okay. We play differently. So it's just attention to detail, what we need to do at the point of attack. I think that's the biggest thing. If we focus on that and positional and just continue to talk and rotate and be active, I think good things will happen.
Hi, Coach. Looking ahead to tonight, one of the biggest changes to the Sparks roster is the addition of Kelsey Plum. What are some things that Plum does that make her such a tough matchup, and what will be key for the team to monitor tonight?
Yeah, she's a competitor. She's a winner. She can score at the rim and she can shoot the three. She's an assist player. She's a bit of a dog that. She has a lot of confidence, and she's one of the highest isolation players, one of the highest reject players, and especially to that left hand, and her ability to finish at the rim for a small player has been really impressive. She can shoot the three. She loves the moment. So it's a great addition. It's a great pickup for them. They've had some injuries as well too, still trying to find their identity. That's, you just got to keep grinding away for them. But I think that was a great pickup for them. It's a player that they can build around in years to come.
Hi, Coach. Thank you for taking the time. You've mentioned coming back from this road trip, you want to see toughness, you want to see grit. There's no really stat or intangible to kind of, measure that by any numerical means, but what does grit and toughness mean to you as you embark on a lengthy homestand?
Well, offensively, it's sprinting the lanes. I think when we're jogging, it doesn't help our spacing. It's sprinting the lane. It's moving the ball in the half court. It's finishing, hitting, being consistent on the offensive glass, which we haven't been doing. We haven't been doing that great. And defensively is where you look at the Indiana Fever game against Lynx. It could have went either way. And that's why I tried to show them. I'm like, it doesn't matter. But if you don't bring physicality, it's easy. How do we want to make other teams feel? And at the moment, we've made them feel not too much at all. So you want teams feeling comfortable. So that's what I look at. And it's a sight thing, because sometimes I'm like, well, we didn't blow up that. We weren't at the point of the screens. You don't know our schemes and that, but at the halftime you're like, okay, well, we didn't do that very well. But that's on us. We've got to make sure, okay, you got to be connected, and if you're tired, come and get a rest. But we've got to be more intentional at the point of the screen and where we are. Our rotations up behind it haven't been great, but that's something we can be great at. I know that. That's why I said there's no panic. It's just going back to fundamentals, playing defense on the flight of the ball, not when they catch the ball. Just simple things like that and having some urgency.
I'm inside of Bob.
Yep.
Hey, Sandy. I've got a couple of numbers for you, but to follow up on what you were saying about moving the ball in the half court, when Jonquel is out there per 100 possessions, you guys are scoring 74 points, and that number dips to just 59 points when JJ's not out there. And yeah, some of it is her passing herself, but also just how much offense she creates.
Yeah.
And we've been seeing a lot more one-on-one play.
Yeah.
What are some things that you think you can do to adjust in terms of having the ball move more frequently or just get out of Sab's hands so much for some of that one-on-one?
Yeah, look, I think it starts with the running habits. We try to drill that this week, the spacing, where we can open the floor up. Can we get some more pass aheads? Can we get into, C2, our decision-making sometimes a little slow, like we go too long and then it's too late, or, C2, move the ball. Just all the fundamentals that we've been, drilling into them. But like I said, the good thing is that, Beck Gardner got more experience. Marine got, she got to play more. Izzy Harrison got to play more. So in the big picture, we kind of, we're still working out the chemistry, and that's going to help us as we move forward.